Welcome back to the Lucky 7's podcast. How we doing, guys?
How we doing today? Welcome back to the podcast. We got a lot in store for today. Buckle your seatbelt.
I mean, it's going to be a rocky road this
Yep.
one. Matt, how are we feeling?
I'm feeling great right
How
now.
was your trip? Your birthday vacay.
It was a good one. You know, I got a lot of good stuff for my birthday. I got some
I heard
socks.
a lot of Indiana.
I love being an adult because I get socks, two books.
Those are the things you need.
I really do. You get the essentials
Books
when you're an
good for your
adult.
knowledge.
Yeah.
Learned a lot, probably.
Well, I don't know. It was actually a very good book that I got, so I'm excited
That's
for
good.
it. But you know, you open your presents and you see two books.
And,
Not-
your inner child.
You can't say
Yeah,
you're
that.
excited, you know, because I used to get like bikes and stuff like
Yeah,
that when I was a kid.
PS4s.
Yeah,
Now I'm getting books.
yeah. I don't like growing up. It's
I don't
not
like.
fun.
Gotta do it.
But if we didn't grow up, then we'd not be making this podcast right now.
Okay,
All
so guys, we're gonna start off with we know the drill by now. We start off with the MLB score report.
Always.
So, Matt, how about them Pirates absolutely stomping the Blue
Stomping.
Jays 8-1?
Love it. I love
What do
it.
you think about it?
Keller 8 strikeouts in the day. Stud. He's so good. I love watching him play.
He's
I love
solid.
the
He's a
future.
great player.
We have so many pitchers. I don't know what to do with all of them. I personally don't know what to do with all of them. I don't even know what our manager is thinking right now. He's like, I don't know what to do. That's what he's
Good
thinking.
insight. So,
Triolo went 3 for 4 on the day. Great game from him.
great game from that guy. So, the Orioles beat the Rays 9-5. Big AL East matchup. Both teams had 10 hits.
It's weird.
They're hitting the ball.
4-run game, and yet they still had the same amount of hits.
It's probably with the Ryan Mountcastle 2 home runs.
Yeah.
Probably pushed the Orioles over.
That was huge. Great game from him. I love the name Mountcastle.
Yeah,
Just a perfect name, like a castle
I
on a
also
mountain.
like these notes where it says Brewers destroy the White Sox 4-3. I don't know if I'd say that's destroying, but
All right, well, like I was trying to think of something for like socks. Like, what would you do to socks?
Destroy
and like, I guess
socks?
you destroy. I don't know. I don't know what
well,
else.
I
you
like
do to
this one. The
socks.
Padres dethroning the Royals 7-3.
Mhm.
They're not royal
They're the-
anymore.
they're the Kings
no,
now.
No. All right, Matt, hit them with this next punchline. I'm proud of
Alright.
this one.
Athletics scare the Braves in an 11-9 win.
Not brave.
29 total hits in this game. We'll talk about this game later. Actually, I personally will talk
Hell
about this
yeah,
game
we
later. Every starter on the Athletics got a hit, and I've talked about this before. That's how you win baseball games. If every starter gets a hit, you're gonna win. Like, I mean, it's just like that's how you play baseball. Everyone doing their thing. Every single person is contributing to the team, and that's a winning formula right there.
Couldn't agree more. The Rangers catch the Marlins out of the water in a 7-0 win. Shut them out.
Love it.
Miami had 7 hits but couldn't score a run. Marcus Semien and Corey Seager both had 3 hits on the day.
Great game.
Just a great day for those Rangers. Those Rangers are such a great hitting team.
Yeah.
I'm gonna love to see them keep performing as the
Back
season
to
goes on.
back. Maybe. What do you think?
We'll talk about those Yankees later.
We will talk about them. I don't think they're winning.
Okay, let's save the
Orioles.
for later.
Orioles.
All right, Red Sox tamed the Tigers 6-3.
There you
Valdez 2 home runs. Great day for that guy. Matt, tell him about this Mets game.
Alright, well, shout out Joey Barbuda.
These Mets are just really.
The
Oh my
Mets
God.
lose another one, 10-5 to the Diamondbacks. They're just god awful. They're just
Talk
not
about
good.
embarrassing.
It's just I would hate to be a Mets fan because they just keep losing, and
Couldn't be me.
it's not like they don't have the talent to win. They have so much talent over in New York. They just can't get it
Losing
done.
with talent. though,
Yeah,
guys.
it's
Can't get it
horrible.
done. Edwin Diaz, what happened?
I don't know. And Christian Walker had 1 hit, but he had 4 RBIs. So I don't
Grand
really know.
slam,
I don't know how that. No, it wasn't because he didn't have a home run on the day. So I don't know. I don't know how he did that. But somehow he got
we
1
should
hit.
research that.
I was looking at
Jeez.
I just saw it on the box score. 1 hit, 4 RBI. I don't really know how he did that.
So,
I believe Kalen Clark. I don't know.
why are we speaking about?
I'm
Caitlin
sorry.
Clark?
We're just watching.
known MLB player, Caitlin Clark.
She would
Okay.
probably dominate in the
So,
MLB.
okay.
So athletic.
The Guardians
Strong.
beat the Nationals 3-2. No punchline for that one.
No.
We couldn't really think of anything. The Astros beat the Twins 5-2. Jordan Alvarez 3 hits on the day. I mean, he's one of the best hitters in the league. What do you expect from that guy? So
That is what I expect from him.
what about this next
All
one?
right. The Mariners aren't going to heaven after a dominant 9-0 win over the Angels. They just,
That's good.
I mean, they just destroyed the Angels. Unholy things to the Angels.
Wow.
All right. In other news, the Phillies beat the Cardinals 6-1. Gray had 10 strikeouts.
Sonny Gray.
Sonny Gray, there you go.
Yeah.
But also 4 earned
Wait,
runs.
Was that Sonny Gray? Or is that Josiah Gray?
I think it's Sonny Gray. I remember looking
believe
at
it is
it. It was
Sonny
Sonny Gray, yeah.
The Yankees legend, known for being absolutely awful on the Yankees.
Yeah,
You guys
but
know?
he's been good in St. Louis. He had a good game, at
He
least
has,
10
yeah,
strikeouts.
solid.
Great game.
He's a solid pitcher.
Ranger Suarez got injured in the second inning and would not return. But in the third pitcher in the game, Spencer Turnbull, had 6 strikeouts,
He's good.
0 earned runs
He's very
in
good.
3 innings. Great relief from him. Love to see that. Kind of like Fabian Resica Jr. Year-esque relief there. Would you
Stop
say?
it.
Okay.
Stop.
Have we done
You're
that? before?
flattering me. Come
Okay,
on,
I'm
stop.
sorry. Cubs beat the Reds 7-5. Yankees destroy the Giants 7-3.
Destroying those Giants.
What do you
Absolutely
think? And
destroying them.
today, Juan Soto, I believe, had 2 home
bombs
runs
on the
back to back.
day. So,
What a game from him.
we will talk about those Yankees later.
Yeah, we'll
Trust
talk about
me.
them. We'll talk about them.
And then the last score of the day is the Dodgers conquer the Rockies 4-1. Rockies had 7 hits and only 1 run. So they're getting guys on base, but they're just not bringing them in. You know?
Another example of that. That seemed to be a common theme throughout the day.
All right, Matt, tell the fans about the NHL.
All right, well, the Edmonton Oilers beat the Stars 3-1 to take a 3-2 series lead, and Game 6 will be tonight. I don't.
For that.
Yeah, it hasn't happened yet. I think it actually has started now, but excited for that one. And then in the Eastern Conference Finals, the Rangers have been eliminated to the Florida Panthers after a 2-1 loss. And the only thing I want to say, Panthers going back to the Stanley Cup where they lost last year. I just want to say, on behalf of all Rangers fans, I think we don't know an apology, but the organization owes an apology to Shesterkin, who might be the greatest goalie I've ever watched. And they need to give him people that will defend. They need to give him other players.
Playing for a Stanley Cup right now.
Yeah, they need to give him other players in the team that can actually be competent and do something with the puck. And I think he's owed an apology. All right, Fade. You wanna talk about NFL free agency real quick?
I'd love to, man. So, Gable Stevenson, former Olympic gold medalist. I've done research on this guy. He's known as one of the best wrestlers of all time, apparently.
Went to Penn State. Penn State,
did not
great
know that.
wrestling
Wow.
program. Amazing. Best wrestling program in the country.
This guy has never played a snap of football in his life. But
Well,
the Bills have signed him.
I do believe in high school, but not college or
Not in high school.
NFL. He didn't?
I believe he did not.
Oh, wow.
That's what the online sources said. It's the first time putting on the cleats.
So they're really taking a risk with him.
Yeah, but coming off the D-line, I mean, he's just a natural athlete, and I think I'd love to see what he can do. I mean,
I'm excited.
It's going to be a treat watching him.
Definitely an educated risk there because he's an absolute athlete.
Yeah. Also, John Ross, we all know, second fastest NFL player ever. He has signed with the Eagles.
Golden Madden player.
Great Madden player. Oh, my God, that guy could move. And the Eagles are being investigated for tampering for possible talks with Saquon before free agency.
I'm praying. If they get... I don't know what's going to happen if they actually do get convicted of this. But imagine he goes back to New York. Oh, my God. As long as he's not on the Eagles.
He's going to stay.
As long as he's not on the Eagles, I'm fine. Like, imagine he has to go somewhere else. The Eagles lose him.
Send him to, like...
Yeah, send him to, like, the Raiders or somewhere. No, not Cleveland. Cleveland's, like, the Super Bowl candidate. I don't want him to go to Cleveland. Actually, I do want to see him win a Super Bowl.
Cleveland!
I do love...
LeBron James said that.
I do love...
This isn't me.
I do.
I'm so sorry. Let me podcast.
I
was trying to do a cool guy thing there. It just didn't work.
We're gonna stick to what we do now.
Stick to our
let's
guns,
just talk.
So let's go on to the lock of the day.
I do want to see Saquon get a Super Bowl.
So let's go on to the lock of the day.
Don't do that again.
So I'll say mine first. I have the Cardinals beating the red hot Phillies at +110.
I like that actually. The Phillies haven't been great this week.
So this great Cardinals lineup is facing Taijuan Walker for the Phillies. Taijuan Walker is a 5.51 ERA. That's not that good. And Lance Lynn is on the bump for the Cardinals with 3.45 ERA. And this Cardinals team, they're hitting great. I know the Phillies are a great hitting team, but Taijuan Walker is not having a good year for them. And at +110, it's pretty good odds. It could be a very good bet for you to make some money.
Well, I don't have as much insight into mine as he did, but tomorrow I'm seeing Angels +110 against the Padres. And one team has Mike Trout. One team doesn't have Mike Trout. I'm going to take the team with Mike Trout. 110. You can get a decent amount of money out of that if you hit. So I think definitely take that bet.
Wow.
Right, moving on, let's talk about some college baseball.
Let's talk about
World
that.
Series. Regional championships are today, Sunday, and if need be, there will be games tomorrow. So basically, if in each there's 16 different regions and it's double elimination, so you have to lose
It's
two
really
games.
confusing.
Yeah, it is very
I don't like
confusing,
it.
but they really should make it simpler. Just like they should just do March Madness. Really, they should just copy it. But basically, it's
They should.
double elimination, and they so the teams that won both their games automatically go to the regional championship tonight. Um, yeah, but so if they win the first game, if they go 3-0, they automatically go on to the super regionals. But if so, basically all the regional championships, if the team that already lost a game wins tonight, they would play Monday to see who is moving on to the super regionals. And there's 16 teams that move on, 16 regions, and one team moves on from each region.
It's a great explanation.
Basically.
So I'll tell these guys about the scores from Friday. So
Okay.
Kansas State beats number 5 Arkansas 7-6. Upset there. Wake Forest. I picked them as one of my picks to win it all.
Yep.
Eliminated after losing to East
On
Carolina
Friday. They didn't even make the
7-6.
Saturday,
But I also had East
You
Carolina
fraud.
going deep. So
Yeah. Which they did.
one of them wasn't going to work.
Yeah.
So number 13 Arizona is the highest seed to be eliminated after losing to DBU.
Who was it?
7-0.
I didn't hear who they lose to.
I'm excited for you to talk about their Saturday performance. So
They did something though. They did some damage.
DBU. I mean, that is kind of impressive beating
Yeah.
Arizona.
They're a
Wasn't
great
ready
team.
for that.
Mhm.
Oregon State beats UC Irvine 5-3, handing them their first loss. Vanderbilt, known baseball powerhouse
Yep.
or supposed baseball powerhouse,
Yeah.
lost to High Point 10-9 and is
Former
out of the tournament.
former
I mean,
baseball
what happened to
powerhouse.
those guys?
Former.
What happened?
Mm-hmm.
Vandy leadoff man Austin went 5 for 5 with 3 ribbies, but it still wasn't enough to pull out the W. So
Yeah. I mean, if I go
That
5 for
sucks.
5 and I lose, I'm
I'd
very
be
upset.
livid.
Yeah, livid is a good word.
Tennessee beats Indiana 12-6. I mean, what do you expect? That Tennessee team's great.
Yeah.
And number 4 UNC gave LSU their first loss 6-2. Matt, tell these beautiful fans about the games on Saturday.
I didn't realize they were beautiful. I'm sure they are.
I'm very sure.
So LSU outscored Wofford 13-1 after the first inning. Wofford scored 5 runs in the first inning, and they scored 1 run for the rest of the game. Final score 13-6, and LSU will rematch against North Carolina for the regional finals tonight. In that game, LSU had 21 hits.
Jesus.
What a game from them. The Wofford pitching was not great.
I mean, what's a Wofford?
Yeah. After like
Don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what Wofford is.
I have no clue what they're doing here.
I feel like there's so many random teams. I was watching like not San Diego. I forget which. It was like Santa Barbara. In
UC Santa Barbara?
Yeah, they were like the 14th ranked team. There's so many
Jeez.
random schools in the College World Series.
I'll let them rock.
Yeah, I mean James Madison beat South Carolina 2-0, continuing their dominant year of athletics.
Great
remember-
pitching from that.
Yeah,
Wow.
2-0.
Shutting out
Amazing.
South Carolina.
But I
Shout
remember-
out Garrett Hoffman.
Sure. Well, he's not gonna be happy.
He's not. He won't be happy.
But in football, I remember James Madison was like 10-0 at one point.
Yeah.
In basketball,
remember that.
they made it to the round of 32, and now they just won a game in.
I mean, they're
College
really
World
building up
Series.
their names.
Yeah.
Sports
I
power.
mean, all of a sudden, James
if you
Madison.
told me this 5 years ago, I'd be like,
Yeah.
what do you
Well, they
want
weren't
about
even
it,
a D1 school until
Yeah,
this
like-
year, and now all of a sudden they're
Look
doing
at
this. First year in D1.
Get some more big time recruits.
Yeah, great
than
story
that.
there. We should.
I could see some big things from
Yeah.
JMU.
I think so too. Southeast Missouri State beat number 5 Arkansas 6-3, eliminating the frauds. We
talked
said
about
it.
how fraudulent those guys are.
If you watch this podcast, then you would know that Arkansas was going to lose, and you would have bet it. And
That's why you listen to the Lucky 7's
that's why you
podcast.
listen to Lucky 7's podcast, because we knew Arkansas was
We
fraudulent.
do.
The highest seed to be eliminated so far. We said it. We knew it. We were ahead of it. We knew it. You gotta
had
watch the
insight.
podcast.
We had insight.
We have
connections.
We have connections. We know what's gonna happen before it happens. Don't tell anyone. Okay. East Carolina beat VCU 10-7. Fade
that
picked
rolls
that.
off the tongue nice. ECU,
I like that.
VCU.
I like that.
Nice.
I think I said East Carolina.
I did have ECU going pretty
Yeah.
deep.
Southern Miss beat Indiana 15-3.
Bad day to be Indiana.
Rough. That was a rough one. I was hoping they would make a
Well,
run.
tell them about this next game, Matt.
Yeah. Grand Canyon beat DBU 12-10. and it was a great game. DBU played amazing. They left it all out on the field and couldn't get it done. But I don't hate my pick on DBU. I think that was still a great pick. They played really well, and I would ride and die with DBU.
Agree.
And last little segment, Birmingham Southern is still alive.
They are still alive.
Yep, love to see it. What a story!
I believe it was a walk-off home run.
Yeah, well, I don't know if it was home run, but it was definitely a walk-off. It's a movie over there.
Crazy movie.
It's literally a movie. I was like, last night was literally a movie when I watched that game. All right, well, let's go on to the UFL.
UFL. Wow.
UFL.
So the UFL playoffs start June 8th, where the Birmingham Stallions will play the Michigan Panthers. And on June 9th, the San Antonio Brahmas will play the St. Louis Battlehawks.
Against the
Matt, tell the fans some players to note from the UFL.
All right, well, these are the people that I recognize from college. Really wasn't a lot of people that I recognized. Kind of disappointed. I thought it was like a smaller NFL, but it really just not a lot of names. But from what I remember, as a Big Ten fan, I remember a lot of Big Ten players. So the first one here, Brian Lewerke, quarterback from Michigan State.
Beast.
He was pretty good. I think he upset Ohio State when Michigan State was still good. So he was a Michigan State legend. I don't actually know this person, but Bumper Pool. There's a guy from Arkansas on the Michigan Panthers named Bumper Pool.
What a name!
And I just thought I had to include that because that's just a great name.
Sounds like a fun game, like a carnival.
Yeah, exactly. Or like in pool, like yeah, exactly. And then it reminds me of Dude Person.
Dude Person
is one of the greatest names ever.
And now on the Birmingham Stallions, talking about names. Taco Charlton, defensive end out of Michigan.
Yeah, I do remember him at Michigan. He was actually a really good player.
I mean, hard to not remember him with that name.
Great name, Taco.
What were his parents thinking?
He was a beast. Taco was an absolute beast. He was feasting on defense. He might have, I don't know. I am not gonna say what he was feasting on, but
he has to like Taco.
I would hope he probably did. Like it's got to be a nickname, right?
Talking about first names, next guy on the Stallions, Matt Corral.
Great one.
QB out of Ole Miss.
I remember him at Ole Miss, and also
I know a couple of Matts.
Yeah,
last name
like Matt
McConaughey.
Great one. Matthew. Blinking right now.
Langlois.
Great one. Just an absolutely beautiful one, in my opinion. Of course, I don't want to like jump the gun or anything. All right, Adrian Martinez, quarterback from Kansas State. He is actually like the MVP of UFL. I know this. He's very good, and if you want to tune into the UFL, definitely tune into Panther Stallions because you want to watch Adrian Martinez play.
I have to speak on this. Ricky Person, running back of NC State. Any relation to Dude Person?
I really hope. That is a great last name. Person.
Great last name.
Literally just Person. Wow. And our special guest has just arrived. He will be on in a little bit. He'll be on
in a few moments.
Not right now, but he'll be on in a few moments. But great to see him arrive. Don't say anything.
Please.
We don't want to hear you.
Stay quiet.
Okay, sweet. And then some other players, Amari Rogers from Clemson. He was an absolute stud at Clemson. Good to see him still playing football. Yep. Anthony McFarland at Maryland. I remember he scored a touchdown against Ohio State in overtime, but they couldn't convert the 2-point conversion. They would have beat Ohio State. Marcel Aitman out of Oklahoma State. He was a stud. Steven Gonzalez out of Penn State. I remember him on the offensive line. He was amazing. And A.J. McCarron, quarterback at Alabama. He wasn't really that good at Alabama, but I do remember the name, so I just had to put it in there.
So, Matt, who do you think is going to win it all? I have the Stallions.
I also
9-1. All the other teams are 7-3. I mean, that shows they can win games.
It does, but also Adrian Martinez, their quarterback, is phenomenal, and he's going to lead them to win it.
Taco Charlton off the defense.
I mean, if you look at the list, out of the people I know from Stallions versus the other teams, I know 5 people from the Stallions, and I know 3 from Battlehawks. That's the max. Like that team is just better than all the others. They're going to win it.
Okay, Matt, let's talk about some of the best and worst from the MLB. So, I'll start off with, I think, the worst player in the MLB recently. I mean, I don't know the exact worst player, but the worst player in my eyes was Nestor Cortez. Last year, I mean, I remember him being an all-star about 2 years ago, I think. Today, he went 4.1 innings with 3 earned runs. 3 earned runs through 4.1 innings is not good. 6 of San Francisco's 7 hits off him were above 101 miles per hour. They're absolutely killing the ball. They're just killing the ball.
Oh, my God.
And another problem, he has not gone deep into his starts, only getting past 5 1/3 innings pitched in one of his last 4 games. I mean, when you're a starter like that who's not throwing that hard, You need to be able to eat innings, and he's just not doing that.
And people are eating off of him. And it's not going well for him. 101 miles per hour. How many times?
6 out of the 7 hits. They're
awful.
killing.
We got to be better. We really do got to be better.
Who's your worst player?
My worst player, Austin Hayes from Baltimore. He's had 8 at-bats this week. He has 1 hit, and he has 4 strikeouts. That's that's just awful. We got to be better. I mean, you're an MLB player. He was batting like .100 for the week. And I know it's just 1 week. I don't want to say like he's a bad player or anything, but 8 at-bats, 1 hit, 4 Ks. He's clearly in a slump this week. But the segment is best of the week and worst of the week, and I think he's clearly been the worst of the week.
I was just focusing on my Yanks, but that guy was
he was awful. Oh, so you only did Yankees players?
Basically. Okay. The best player, Aaron Judge, baby.
Yeah, of course you would say that.
8 bombs in his last 10 games. You want to hear his stats in May? You want to know what he leads the league in May?
I don't want to know.
He leads the league in home runs, OPS, on-base percentage, slugging percentage, and average exit velocity. He is a stud.
Awesome.
I'm saying back-to-back MVPs for Aaron Judge. And he is taking these Yankees to a World Series. This is the year.
I do think he's going to be the MVP this year. I don't know if
him and Juan Soto are fighting for it. Yeah, isn't that crazy?
That is pretty crazy. But I don't think they're going to win the World. I don't think they're going to go to the World Series.
Who's going to win it?
I think the Orioles are going to go to the World Series. And no, I mean, come on.
What?
I just think the Orioles or the Phillies. The Phillies have looked really good. I think the Phillies are going to win.
I can see a Phillies-Yankees World Series, but the Orioles are not beating the Yankees to make the World Series.
Phillies or Orioles? Phillies, Orioles.
Are you kidding me? The Yankees are such a much better team.
I think they are, but
the Yankees, without Garrett Cole, have one of the best pitching rotations in baseball. Luis Gil, young star, taking Garrett Cole's role, and our pitching's great, our hitting's great, everything is great right now.
Guess what? The Orioles bats.
We are beating the Orioles.
The Orioles bats are going to get going. You know those Orioles bats are good.
I mean, Gunnar
they got some good bats.
He's a great player.
Adley Rutschman.
He's a great player. Yeah,
they got a lot of great players. They got some studs.
They don't have a Juan Soto.
It doesn't matter how good you're pitching.
Anthony
if the hitters are like they got the young guys. They got a consistently good team. Great program.
They don't have
a
Volpe.
But it doesn't matter because they got young. Remember, I always say it doesn't matter if you have some stars. You got to have 9 guys that can hit the ball. The Orioles got 9 guys that can hit the ball.
The Yankees have 9 guys.
I was looking at the stats. The Yankees got some guys that have been horrible this week.
This week?
Yeah, but it's like 0 for 8.
Is the World Series this week?
I don't know. I wasn't looking at the season, but for a week, you need a week of good baseball, and the Yankees are not going to need a week of good baseball this week. I don't know if that's not obviously enough of a sample size, but I really don't think the Yankees are going to make that run. I think Baltimore and Philly are going to be in the World Series. Nope.
Oh, Matt.
Well, you're a biased Yankees fan, so obviously you're going to think that. All right, best game from this week: Athletics 11, Braves 9.
I agree. That was a crazy game.
29 hits in the game.
29.
Yeah.
Wow, it's
29.
It's a barrel party out there.
Yeah, they're just hitting the ball. I mean, the pitchers weren't doing anything. Pitchers were just lollipopping it.
Batting practice out there.
Yeah, it was home run derby out there. There was actually only 4 home runs in the game, so kind of disappointed. Well, but there was 20 runs and 4 home runs.
That is a crazy game.
Yeah. Worst game from the week? Oh, you said that was the best game. What was your worst game? What's your worst game from the week?
I had the Giants-Phillies game. Giants won, Phillies nothing. I just feel like this wasn't a fun game to watch.
In extra innings, so
I mean, it was a pitcher's duel, but like
I don't want to watch. I want to watch people hit the ball. I don't want to watch pitching.
I mean, I am a sucker for good pitching, but
but it's not even like they were striking them out. I was looking at the stats, and it wasn't even like strikeouts. It was more of just good defense.
Yeah, like if I'm watching a pitcher's duel, I want each guy to have like double-digit Ks.
But obviously, you're a pitcher, so you probably like that a little more. You probably like to see your fellow pitchers playing well. But no one scored in regulation in this game. It went to 10 innings, so there was no scoring in the whole.
I love watching my boys shove, but like
we gotta be a little. I mean, it's at some point the batters are just not doing their job.
Yep.
All right, so let's move on. Best team from the week. What do you got?
I have the Milwaukee Brewers. Matt, what do you think about these Milwaukee Brewers?
I agree with you on the Brewers. 6-1 this week. Only loss coming to the Cubs. Who a 6-3 loss. Currently first place in the NL Central. They've been great this week. Can't do much better.
Such a fun team to watch too.
Yeah, really.
Really fun to watch.
And they've been good for a long time. I think another team that has World Series aspirations this year. And I don't know if they're going to do it. They don't look amazing, but this week they definitely looked
I mean,
amazing.
I'd love to see it.
All right, what's your worst team?
Matt, I was going to ask you what is your worst team.
Oh, well, my worst team of the week, personally,
Tell them.
I think the Phillies, honestly.
I was going to agree with you.
They've been really good in baseball. They've been the best team in baseball through the last like month, really.
And this last week they're playing a little subpar.
Yeah, they were like 20-7 the last month, but this week 3-3, which it's not awful, but just a little bit disappointing. And Ranger Suarez went down with an injury, didn't return in that game.
That sucks for them.
So a little alarming for the Phillies. Not a great week, losing a pitcher. If I'm a Philly fan, and I was in Philadelphia this week, or like close to Philadelphia, and I was with a lot of Philadelphia fans, and they were all like so like cocky about like the Phillies are the best team. Like they're always like it's Philly. Like their fans are always
Philly
like
fans.
I hate Philly
What
fans.
do you do about those guys?
But
Who gave them Saquon?
Yeah. And they had so many shirts, like they had so many Saquon shirts. They already got the Saquon jerseys out. He hasn't even played a game yet. Like, what if he tears his ACL first game? But yeah, I hate Philly, and my sister and my dad are Philly fans, so that just makes it even worse. They're always bragging about Philly, and I want to see Philly's downfall. But I also think that they are going to go to the World Series because they're really good.
They're a great team. They're a great team. I'd be lying if I said that.
I'm gonna move on. Story of the week in baseball, and then we can move on from baseball. In a AAA game between Buffalo and Syracuse, Buffalo's catcher Peyton Henry was hit in the back of his head with a bat while trying to catch the ball. Literally, I watched a video. He was going forward to scoop it, just boom, right in the back of the head. It looked very painful. He went right down, didn't get back up. He was conscious, but he definitely looked like not himself. He is doing well. He's still in the hospital, but as far as I know, he's still in the hospital. But it was reported that he's doing well, and I don't know if he's going to return to baseball, like what the timeline is, but hopefully he's okay. Wishes go out to him. All right, let's move on. We're watching some WNBA right now, so
we are. Yeah.
Why don't we talk about some WNBA?
I mean, this rivalry is back.
Mm-hmm. Iowa LSU.
Angel Reese.
Mm-hmm. I remember national championship game, I believe, 2 years ago. Iowa LSU. LSU won it. I was personally going for Caitlin Clark and Iowa, but
big fan of Caitlin Clark.
Yeah. And also, I think
shoot the basketball.
I was watching this game, and Angel Reese was playing a little dirty. Like every time she went up for a rebound, she would like hold the person down and like go up for the rebound. I think she's a little bit of a dirty player, but
I couldn't agree more.
But Babe, why don't you talk about this one?
I mean, the story of this game is the Chicago Sky bench had 33 points, whereas the Fever bench had 5. Mm-hmm. So you might be thinking, how did the Fever pull out the win in this game? 71-70. It has to do with the Sky's carelessness with the basketball. I mean, they shot 16% from 3. I mean, I've been talking about 3-point percentage in all these podcasts, but like it's really costing all these teams games. Like
16%.
16%.
That's awful.
That's preposterous. Jeez, it's something like Ken Fisher basketball.
That's really bad. I remember Joey Shanahan going like 33% on like 43s. Yeah.
Than that team. But hey, so some of the stats. We'll bring up Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese's stats. So Caitlin Clark, 11 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists, 4 from 11 from the field, and 2 for 9 from 3.
Not great. 5 turnovers too.
What happened? What happened?
Not very good.
Should have just stayed in college, I guess.
Yeah, she should have stayed one more year. Too. I don't think she's ready for this.
Angel Reese, 8 points, 13 rebounds, 1 assist, 2 for 9.
They just
should have stayed in college, guys.
These guys are not very good.
That is rough.
So not much of a rivalry there.
Not really. But now we have a very special person.
Very special guest to bring on the podcast. I don't know if his ears are working right now, so it might take a few minutes for him to get over here.
We need this person to walk up to the microphone now.
So the person that's our special guest, could you please come over here?
Our special guest.
Excuse me. I think we might have got a deaf person instead of our special. Luka, come here.
Our special guest is
he's not the smartest person.
Pandzic.
He might not be the smartest person in the world. Can you come here, please?
Could you come here, please? The podcast.
There we go. He finally found his way. It's really hard to get over here, so forgive him for.
Luka, how are we doing?
Good, sir.
Speaking to the microphone.
I'm good, sir.
Oh, that's great to hear. So we're here. Luka Pandzic
Soccer star.
Can we hear some soccer accolades?
Yes, sir. You can.
Would you like to say them? Like all league. What was your?
What was my
What were your accolades?
What was I awarded throughout through my high school career?
Yep.
For varsity,
Yes.
I got all league honorable mention, Mount Pleasant Cup finalist.
Okay, sweet. That's good to hear. So he's being humble, but
Very humble. He's a great.
He's a great soccer player. I see him working all the time. We go to the turf sometimes. He's a hard worker, very dedicated to his craft. He's been playing soccer his whole life.
Luka, before we delve into questions about you, I'd like to hear your opinions on Real Madrid. What about those guys?
They're champions. Once again, 6 times. It's truly a blessing to see my father, Luka Modric.
He is great.
You
have drawn comparisons to him a lot.
Fun fact: Luka Modric is the only European player to have the most trophies and awards as a single person at Real Madrid.
Wow, that's a great stat right there.
In 136, I believe, years of the Real Madrid history, Luka Modric has single-handedly the most trophies to his name. It's just such a great accomplishment, and
he is the only person with the most.
Okay. That's a great stat. I don't know why he's laughing.
No.
That was actually. I'm glad you came prepared with that. So let's start the interview now because Fabe's being.
No. I mean, so your first question is, what has been your favorite memory playing soccer so far? Your whole life.
I'd say recently I went to Florida in March, and I had a USL Academy, which is essentially the academy under the USL Championship. That's the academy for that professional division, which is essentially like one division under the MLS. So I went there because we qualified for the championship, and I played in 3 games, scored 2 goals, had 2 assists. Played very well with the boys.
Did you hear those stats?
And now I'm retired. I actually had my last game yesterday, so now we're wrapping up the career. Maybe I'm gonna try to play Division 1 soccer at Binghamton, walk on, but we'll see what happens.
Wow, I mean, that's
high praise.
That's a great story. I hope to see you playing at Binghamton. That was one of our questions, so I'm glad you answered that one.
Yep.
So what inspired you to dedicate so much of your time to soccer? Like what was your inspiration?
I'd say my inspiration was Luka Modric and just the impact he had on me. My father was a big part of it too. He pushed me a lot. I remember when I was 10 years old, I would go to academy tryouts, and I remember crying on the field. And he wouldn't like just be like, a father that would just like, okay, you're crying, it's okay, you can go home. He actually pushed me, and he kept on telling me to stick with it, even though I would get nervous and cry before games sometimes, but I stuck with it, and now I'm here where I am.
That's awesome. Great parenting right there. And would you say it was worth it, all the time you put into soccer?
I'd say it's worth it. One thing I learned about it is that it's all about how much you put into it and how much you love it, and it's not all about the end result of winning the games. It's just about your development, and it's about learning about yourself, but also about other people. And you're gonna meet a lot of different people, good and bad. A lot of coaches that are good and bad, and you have to remember that everyone has their own opinion on who you are. So don't let anyone dictate if you're a good player or if you're not a good player.
I mean, we couldn't agree more, man. That was great.
I love that.
We have a couple more questions for you. So that was about soccer, but what is your favorite sport other than soccer?
I like basketball because two Croatian legends, Dražan Petrovic and Toni Kukoc. They were amazing Croatian basketball players that played during the Yugoslav wars, and even Michael Jordan said it that Dražan Petrovic was the only person that could really guard Jordan, and Jordan actually said that himself, that he was the best defender he ever had. So that's my second favorite sport.
Yeah,
and Toni Kukoc played with Michael Jordan. He was a great 6-man.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, one of the better players on those Chicago Bulls.
Those
team.
are great players.
Yeah.
Wow.
Really? So NBA Finals predictions.
Yeah,
We
talking
got
about NBA. Who do you have
talking about
winning it
basketball.
all?
I think the Celtics are gonna take it home, take it home for the East Coast. I think they gotta do it for the Knicks. I think it's all. I think now we're. I think right now we're just kind of all together in this and winning it for the East Coast.
I disagree, but we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, I think the Celtics are gonna win. I agree with you.
I think
Personally,
Mavs,
I don't think they're gonna do it for the Knicks.
We'll talk about
I don't think they like the Knicks very much, but
Yeah, I think they're good for the Knicks.
I think they will win, but I think for a different reason.
So, Luca, one last question for you, okay? So, what advice would you give to a kid who is starting his or her first year of varsity soccer next year?
Be confident and don't be afraid to make mistakes. Don't do the simple things, but also be creative at times and let your craft show who you are.
I love that. So one last question for you.
One more.
Premier League?
Yes.
You think you're going to the
Do
Premier
you
League?
think you could play in the Premier?
Premier League is very competitive, and it's typically all European people that get scouted or from Southern America, and going to the Premier League from New York is not really easy, and no one's really done it besides Pulisic. Why are you laughing?
I'm sorry.
Pulisic is the only player that's gone
He's great.
from the American League and development into playing for Chelsea. So it really depends on how much you put into it. And sometimes you can put everything you have into it and you can still not even get there. Like it's so selective, and there's so many kids in the world that want what you have and want it more than you. But even if you don't, there's so much more to life than just playing in the Premier League and playing soccer professionally.
I mean, I agree with that. I think it's good
agree too.
it's good to dream of the Premier League, but obviously, it's very hard to make it there. And I think
Luka.
in the pursuit of the Premier League, that's where you really learn who you are and learn about your life. All right, so we're gonna keep Luka on for a little bit to do our favorite segment.
Favorite segment.
It's time for trivia. All right, so Luka, we're gonna be asking you the questions today, or do you want to ask us the questions?
No, we made the questions.
All right. That's a good point. That's a very
Luka,
good point.
I will ask you your first question right now. Okay? Are you ready?
Mhm.
Give him the mic, please, Matt. Okay, so Luka.
My bad.
Yeah.
I'm one.
So Luka, name 3 teams across the 4 major American sports whose team name does not end in an S.
Can you repeat the question, please?
Name 3 teams across the 4 major American sports whose team name does not end in an S.
Do I have my times?
You have as much time as you want.
Okay.
You can't sit here for like 5 minutes. But.
New York City Football Club.
That's true.
Sure. Actually,
That's
no, that's not one of the 4 major sports.
That's not one of the major.
Hockey, football, American football,
Oh,
baseball,
so
and
I can't do
basketball.
soccer. Nope. Okay. Utah Jazz.
The Utah Jazz is one of them. There are more than 3, but I just want 3 from you.
The New York Liberty.
Yeah, that is correct. No. Nothing's funny. All right, one more.
Miami Heat.
Ding, 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 ding,
Bang!
ding.
Bang! The kid has done it. All right.
Okay,
Great
now
job,
for
Luka.
Matt's first question.
All right. What NFL team has the most Super Bowls ever?
Is it
One. The most.
one the most?
Yeah.
It's either the Giants or the Cowboys.
It's not either the Giants or the Cowboys. You watch them win a lot of them.
I did.
Well, I don't know.
Oh,
Patriots.
Patriots.
Yeah, the Patriots. There you go.
Ding,
It's
ding,
6.
ding.
Bang! Bang!
All right, Luka, I have one more question for you. Me and Matt both have one more. Okay. So, which NFL QB threw his first completion to himself?
Bro, what?
Which NFL
Is it
quarterback?
recent?
No.
Alright, so what do you know?
I
What
think
I know.
he's a legend. He's a legend. No.
What's his name?
Do you give up?
Yeah.
Brett Favre.
Do you know who that is?
No clue who Brett Favre is.
Oh.
Never heard his name in my entire life.
Sorry, I wasn't expecting to say this question to you. I would have got some Premier League, but
Yeah. I don't think
Sorry,
I would have got Brett Favre either. But I think you could have.
all
Yeah,
right,
I didn't
Luka,
get-
one more question.
I'm
for you.
sorry I didn't get any Premier League in here.
Yeah, I
wish we did.
Really wish we did. It's silly on us.
How many state championships has Valhalla won?
In what sport? What sport?
In
What sport?
in all of them, in all sports, how many have they won?
Think even in like track,
Speak into the mic.
even in,
No
like,
one can hear you.
Even in like track and
No,
stuff.
no, like the main team sports.
Okay, so we have. We have. Two.
Is that your final answer?
Yes.
2 state championships.
Baseball was won in 2010,
Mhm.
and then football was in '96,
Mhm.
and then volleyball 2019. So it's 3.
Is that your final answer?
Yeah.
That's correct.
Ding, 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 ding.
Bang, bang.
Okay, Luka, it has been real.
Hey,
We thank you for being on the podcast.
thank you so much for being able to make it.
Thank you, sir.
Any closing remarks?
I'm very happy that Real Madrid won, and I
Mhm.
think it's important that we cherish these moments as we watch this amazing club defeat Borussia
Get out of here.
Dortmund. I'm really
We're gonna call security
We're
because
gonna
I don't
call-
know what he got.
What? Oh my God, secure! Get out of here.
I really
Thank you so much.
I appreciate the opportunity to be on this podcast, and I want to thank Matthew and Fabian for their commitment to this podcast and their work, and it's really special.
Thank you, man. I actually appreciate that. I can't clap, so I'm holding the mic. But hey, great job. Anytime you want to come back,
Anytime.
our door is open.
Our
Just
door
know that.
is open.
Thank you. I feel like you were very very educated. Yeah, very smart, and also very inspirational to the
I agree.
youth.
He was very.
And
inspirational.
thank you so much. Thank you. All right, so now you're not gonna speak.
Now,
yeah.
now you're
Now
on the
you're
podcast.
gone. Yeah. We'll talk to you later.
Okay, Matt. NBA Finals.
Oh my God, this is what we're here for.
This is
At
what
the end
we're
of the
here
day, yeah.
Because me and Matt have some disagreements on
Mhm.
this.
All right, so first of all, before we even talk about the NBA Finals predictions, let's go to best and worst of the Eastern Conference Finals, Game 5. So for my best, Luka and Kyrie were the best of Game 5. Both had 36
Agreed.
points. Luka shot 14 for 22 from the field, and the Superstars came out and won the series for the Mavericks. Everyone was great, 124 to 103, but they were really the best for the Mavericks. And Fabe, let's get your worst.
So
Of
my
the-
worst player, I hate to say it because I love this guy, but Naz Reid shot 2 for 10 from the field and 0 for 4 from 3. This guy is known as one of the better shooting big men in the league right now. 6th man of the year. He's a star, but only had 5 points in this
Yeah.
game. Like, he needs to
Awful.
perform this game as 6th man of the year.
Mhm.
Like, we expect more from Naz Reid.
Mhm.
Naz Reid, my GOAT, did not perform this game.
And I feel like Cat kind of gave it to him, like a little disease. Because this is how Cat was shooting. He
Thunderstruck.
shot 0 for 4 from, Thunderstruck.
Book on the
Naz
top.
Reid touched the ball,
He did.
and now he's Cat. And you're like, it's like, if everyone played well for the Timberwolves, they were a team that could easily win this series. But it's just every game they had someone that just wasn't performing. And that's why it turned into a 4-1 series the way it did. But it did turn out that way. So now let's talk about Celtics, Mavericks, superstar matchup in this one.
We will talk about it a
Wouldn't
lot.
wouldn't expect anything less from a finals.
Would not.
And Fabe, let's get your prediction. Who is gonna win the NBA Finals?
Dallas Mavericks in 6.
No, you don't understand that the Celtics are still a great team, even though they've had this easy run
I
to the
never
finals.
said they're not a great team, but the
right.
Mavs are a better team.
No, they're not.
Yes, they are.
They don't have the defense that the Celtics had. They don't have the offense. They don't have anything that the Celtics have.
They don't have the offense the Celtics have.
No,
This team is amazing offense.
Okay, but the Celtics have
Luka and
everyone can
Kyrie
score. Everyone can
are
score the
the
ball.
best offensive backcourt in NBA history.
What else?
They're the best. That's the best offensive backcourt
Okay,
in
they
NBA
have that,
history.
and that's great.
They don't
I've
need
talked about how
shit
great
out.
that is. I've talked about how great it is, but the Celtics have.
Sorry for the language there.
You're good. The Celtics have Kristaps Porzingis. He's coming back, along with Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Drew Holiday. Derek White has been scoring. He can score whenever he wants. They got 5 guys on the floor that can score whenever they want to. Peyton Pritchard off the bench. Sam Hauser off the bench. He's a shooter. He's like, this team is so stacked top to bottom. I don't see a way that the Mavs are able to win this series over this stacked Celtics team.
You are a silly little man.
No, because Celtics, look, they've played
The
twice
Mavericks
this year.
have Alex Fudge.
I saw that earlier. Shout out to Alex Fudge, great guy.
Listen, Dwight Powell, Derek Lively, Kyrie Irving, Luka Doncic, Tim Hardaway Jr. They are an amazing team. And Gafford and Washington. They are a star-studded team. I don't see how they don't blow this Celtics team out of the water.
Look,
the Celtics have this Mickey Mouse cakewalk. We have said it. They have walked on frozen cake this whole time.
I think that.
And now they're walking in molten lava against the Dallas Mavericks.
I think
they are not ready for this. Matt, if you think the Celtics win, you need to be locked up.
I think that the Celtics lose game 1 because the Mavs have had it so hard. They will be used to playing these great teams. I think the Mavs win game 1, but this Celtics team will adjust. They've been to the finals before. They will get, maybe even they lose 2 games in a row, but they will get settled in, and this Celtics team will be able to win this series. They'll be able to recover. I will say though, the Mavs are 33-14 since signing Gafford in Washington. So they've been great with them, but I just think that's not better than what the Celtics have been this year. The Celtics were like 64-18 this year, and they've been like 12-2 in the playoffs. They've been absolutely dominant all year, and they're going to continue their dominance. It's going to be a close series. I think 7 games, but I think the Celtics will be the team that wins it.
Stupid.
Look at this. Boston won the first game in Dallas 119-110, and won the second one in Boston 138-110. They've won both games this season.
In the past.
But they've won both the games. It's this season.
Past.
It's this season, though.
It's in the past.
But it's this season.
It's in the past.
You're looking at this season.
It's in the
And
past.
Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown
When were
have
these
both been
games?
great.
Were these games before or after acquiring Gafford in Washington?
I believe the second one was after acquiring Gafford in Washington.
I don't care.
The
The Mavs are going to do this.
I can't really argue with that.
You know what? We have to compare
Mhm.
these two dynamic duos from both these teams.
Yeah,
Luka and Kyrie versus Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown is going to feed families.
that's really the matchup that everyone's watching
It
this
is.
for. Superstars in the making.
Mhm.
Jaylen Brown, best player in this series. No, I'm kidding. Luka's better than him. But like
Thank you.
Jaylen Brown is going to be the Finals MVP.
You're
You know why? Because the Celtics are going to win this series, and Jaylen Brown's going to be the best player in the series.
Luka Doncic is going to win this and cement himself as the face of the NBA.
We'll talk about that later, facing the NBA.
I know
but-
we will, but I'm saying it now.
Don't be
Speaking
rude.
into existence.
Don't be rude.
I'm being rude now.
Don't be rude.
Because this is preposterous, man.
No. Look at Jason Tatum, 26 points per game, 10 rebounds a game, 6 assists a game. He's been shooting 44% from the field, 56% true shooting.
Oh, wait. Yeah, I like how he skipped over one stat. 29% from 3. What is he doing? Just send me out there to shoot
He hasn't been
three-pointers.
great from 3, but he's 6'10". He shouldn't even be shooting threes in the first
Okay,
place.
but we know him. We know how he plays. He does shoot
but
threes.
if he starts getting in the paint, if he gets in the paint this series, that coach, what's his name? His name's escaping me. The Celtics coach.
Casual.
I don't remember his name, but their coach he's a great coach. He's gonna have him playing the way he needs to be playing. And I think Jaylen Brown is gonna be the X factor in this series. 25 points a game, 6 rebounds a game. He's been shooting 50% from the field, 37% from 3. Been absolutely amazing. And not just him, but Drew Holiday is gonna lock up Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving will be Drew Holiday, best defensive player in the NBA.
This is Kyrie Irving still.
Okay, but it's Drew.
This
he's
is still Kyrie
He's
Irving.
averaging 23 a
I
game.
know
That's
Drew Holiday's
all
a
right.
great player.
Drew Holiday's best player,
This
best
is
defensive
Kyrie
player.
shooting 42% from 3, 48.5 from the field. He is an amazing player this postseason. He is
been
going
amazing.
to fry Drew Holiday. I know Drew Holiday's an amazing defender.
No.
But Kyrie is such a great offensive player. He is a player who you need on offense.
No, he's gonna fry him. You think?
Yeah.
Tell me with a straight face. Look me in my eyes. He's gonna fry him. Kyrie Irving's gonna fry Drew.
Kyrie Irving is going to fry Drew.
No.
gonna put him in a
What are you
blender.
saying?
Put him in a blender.
You know that's not true. You know Drew Holiday, best defensive player. He's gonna lock him up.
You don't even want to know.
Kyrie's gonna have 15 a night.
You don't even want to know what Luka's going to do to that team. Luka is going to absolutely manhandle the Celtics.
Jason Tatum.
Jason Tatum's
No, he's not. Jason Tatum's 6'10". Look
him.
at him. He's 6'10". He's got the defense. He got the length. He's got the speed. He's gonna stay with Luka Doncic, and they haven't had someone long like
Luka's
that.
one of the best scorers we've seen in a while.
Yeah, I don't care.
And Jason Tatum's
not
not stopping.
All right, Luka Doncic is gonna score. He's gonna have his, but at the end of the day, he's not gonna be as good as he's been the rest of the playoffs. Kyrie's not gonna be able to do nearly as good as he's been doing with Jrue Holiday on him. No, he won't. He'll be a different player.
Jrue can't guard Kyrie and Luka. They can't stop it.
Yes, they can.
They can't.
And they have Derek White too. If they can't, Derek White, he's out there too. They have so many defensive players.
We don't care about Derek White.
But he's another defensive player. They have so much defense.
We don't care about Derek White.
They're gonna lock him up. This Mavericks gonna score 80 a game.
Oh.
The Mavericks aren't gonna score.
No. Look at me with a straight face and say the Mavericks are going to score 80 a night.
The Mavericks are gonna score 80 a night, and the Celtics are gonna score 81 a night.
You're a fool. You're a jester.
No, Celtics don't need to score. I've been talking about scoring. They don't need that. They got the defense to win this. They are first in defensive. I'm sorry, they're first in offensive rating this postseason. Third in defensive rating. Best net rating. This offense gonna be scoring. The Mavericks don't even have that good of a defense. Mavericks are sixth in defensive rating this postseason. Sixth in offensive rating. I mean, you look at the stats. The Celtics are a better team. The Celtics are a way better team, and they're gonna score. They're gonna score as much as they have to. They have been bad from the 3-point line, the Celtics, but they don't need to. They get into the paint and they get fouled, and that's how they win games. They're gonna get into the paint. They're gonna score in the paint. They're gonna get fouled, and the Mavericks aren't gonna be able to stop it.
Yes, they will. Nope. The Celtics will not be able to stop the 1-2 punch from the Mavericks of Kyrie and Luka.
But they got so many players to stop them. They're going to.
No, they won't.
Yes, they will. They're gonna figure it out, and they're gonna stop
Boston's
them.
not winning anything. They might win a game or two.
Oh my God! Come on, it's gonna be a
Maybe
7-game
3 in a
series.
good
It's gonna be a 7-game series.
Just going 6.
No.
And Dallas
No.
is bringing home a championship.
No, they're not.
Luka Doncic's Finals MVP.
I do want to see Luka do it to cement himself as a face of the NBA. So let's look at the chances of. So obviously the superstars Jason Tatum and Luka Doncic. I've been seeing a lot of talk about face of the NBA.
I have to.
And you really look at the NBA and you look at the great players: Luka Doncic, Jason Tatum, Nikola Jokic, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, trying to find that face of the NBA. And I really just don't see like a player like Michael Jordan's stats, 37 points per game in his 6th year playoffs run. This is all because Luka Doncic is in his 6th year right now. Looking at the 3 former faces of the NBA's 6th year playoff run, Michael Jordan averaged 37 points a game, 7 rebounds a game, 7 assists a game, which is amazing for Michael Jordan. 3 steals a game, a block a game, 3.5 turnovers per game, which is a lot, but look at everything else he was doing. 51.4% field goal, 32% 3-point, which isn't bad for Michael Jordan. Kobe had 27 points a game, 6 rebounds a game, 5 assists a game, a steal a game, a block a game, 2.8 turnovers per game, shot 43% and 38 from 3. Not as good, but still a pretty good, and he won the finals that year against the Nets. No one else in this did. LeBron had in 2009 35 points a game, 9 rebounds a game, 7 assists a game, 2 steals a game, a block a game, 2.7 turnovers, 51% field goal, 33% 3-point, and lost in the East Conference Finals.
I feel like Tatum and Luka, their stats, you can't really compare them to LeBron and MJ, but I feel like you can compare them to those Kobe stats.
Yeah, they are very. Actually, I would say both of them are better.
They are better than Kobe.
Yeah,
stats
both of the stats. Luka Doncic averaging 29, 10, and 9, which honestly is not the points, but everything else really is comparable. Shooting 44% and 34% from 3.
Agree, yeah.
It really is comparable to what LeBron and Michael Jordan. It's not as good, but I could see if Luka Doncic was able to win the finals, which I don't think he will, but I could still I obviously see the possibility of it.
Yeah,
I could see Luka Doncic being the face of the NBA.
I could too. Yeah.
I think that's possible. I don't think Jason Tatum has the likability or really the stats.
He just plays for Boston.
Yeah,
I don't think
no one
plays
likes
for
Boston.
is going to be.
Yeah.
I mean, he's no
Since
he's
Larry
no
Bird.
Larry.
But Larry Bird was different.
Yeah,
I mean, everyone loved
how
Larry
can you
Bird.
not
He
love
played the
Larry?
game. He played the game in such a his passing and his playmaking. Like he was such a flashy player. And
So Matt, that was a great discussion about the NBA.
yeah, well, one last thing I think
That's gonna be a great series to watch.
but I don't think he'll win the finals.
We'll see.
We'll
We'll talk
see.
about that on the next
We'll
pod.
see.
Okay.
Of course, because
So
the game doesn't start for the series doesn't start for a while.
yeah, we got time. So last podcast, I took the story time.
Mm-hmm.
This time, I'm bringing it back to Matt. Matt's going back to home base. So Matt, tell them the beautiful story.
All right, so this is a more personal one in my life. So at my gym, there's this 8-year-old that I always see playing basketball with his dad, and yeah, you've seen him. He's so cute. He's really good, but so he's always playing with his dad, playing basketball with his dad, and he's not just like shooting around. He's like genuinely like they're like 1v1ing. He'll be like shooting over his dad, like they go hard, like they're like practicing for like an hour.
Wow.
and his dad will be coaching him, and sometimes I'm watching them, and his dad, while they're 1v1ing, his dad will actually try, and if he makes a bad move, he'll block his shot, and if he makes like a mistake defensively, he'll try to score on his son.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, like he actually goes hard, and like he's like coaching him, like he's telling him like how he could be better, like what he could do to be better all the time. Like really tough love, and I love it personally. I think it's really great to see a father like bonding with his son and like really dedicating every day to making his son better at basketball while also getting a connection.
All these players in the NBA, I bet their fathers were like this. I bet their fathers
exactly.
were like, "Oh, you missed a shot. Oh, you just
exactly.
It doesn't matter.
You got to be hard on them. You got to
them.
make them better, and also spending that time with them, getting them to play basketball every day is huge. So over the last year, I've been watching them, and the kid has got significantly better at basketball. He's really turning into a great player at the age of only 8. And last Monday, I saw the dad resting after playing pickup, and he wasn't with his son. So I was like, I asked him where his son was at, and he said he was at a week-long basketball camp, like a huge one, like
a big time,
like for like great players. Yeah, it was for ages 7 to 10, right? So he told me he was nervous because he had put so much time into his son's basketball career, and this was like a big opportunity for the hard work to pay off and for his son to really like be noticed, even though he's only 8. Like they started young now. It's really weird. Yeah. So he told me he made a promise with himself, because he wishes his father had done what he was doing for him. He wishes his father had like pushed him to be better at basketball and like played with him every day. And so he made a promise to himself that he would do this for his son, and he followed through on it. So shout out to him.
Yeah, I can tell.
And today I saw him at the gym, literally today, like a few hours ago. And I asked how the camp went for his son, and he told me that his son was the best player there, and he won the MVP of the camp. He was the MVP, and it's 7 to 10. So he was 2 years younger than some of the guys, and he was beating everyone.
I mean, how can you not be romantic about basketball?
How can you not be romantic about it? And I wasn't shocked though, because that kid, he was working his butt off, and not surprised to see that he was the best player. And I don't think anyone's working harder than him.
I don't think so either.
So shout out to him. Love to see it. Love to see a great father. Love to see a kid with a dream, probably an NBA dream. And I hope one day, I wouldn't be surprised if one day I see him in the NBA. So hey, that's all I got for that story. Stay hungry, but also stay humble. We love you guys.
We will be back next week.
See you, boys.
See you, boys.